New Hampshire Democrats, please welcome to the stage Andrew Yang.
Hello, New Hampshire! It is phenomenal to be here with you tonight, and thank you, Yang Gang. I love campaigning here in New Hampshire for so many reasons, but one reason, I don't know how many of you knew this, I went to high school right here in the state. I graduated from Phillips Exeter Academy in 1992. And it's a thrill to be campaigning here tonight because you all are among the most powerful and influential people in our country today. I know it may not feel like it, but I did the math, New Hampshire. Do you know how many Californians each of you is worth? 1,000 Californians each. So look around this stadium tonight. How many of us are here together? I'm going to give a Trumpian estimate. There are 80,000 people here tonight. It's the biggest crowd anyone has ever seen. There are legitimately 7,000 people here tonight, which is like 7 million Californians in voting power. That's the power you all have to move our country forward and address a challenge, a problem that we have been struggling with for the last several years. And that problem, that challenge is this: why is Donald Trump our president? If you were to turn on cable news, you would think he's our president because of some combination of Russia, racism, Facebook, the FBI, the Electoral College, and on and on. But we know different. I'm a numbers guy in New Hampshire. I was well educated here. And the numbers tell a very clear and direct story as to why Donald Trump is our president today. He is our president because we eliminated 4 million manufacturing jobs in this country in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, and it happened here in New Hampshire earlier on. You all lost 12,000 manufacturing jobs in the northern part of the state. And when you go to those towns, after the mill closed, the shopping center closed, people left, the school shrank, and that town has never recovered. The same thing has happened in Missouri, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan. This is why Donald Trump is our president. And this is what we must solve for. We are making a mistake when we act like Donald Trump is the source of all of our problems, New Hampshire. He is not. He is a symptom of a disease that has been building up in our communities for years and decades. So the question is, how do we cure the disease? If you know anything about me and my campaign, you've heard that I'm running for president saying we should give every American $1,000 a month from age 18 until the day they die. And I know this seems like an awfully dramatic policy, but this is not my idea and it's not a new idea. Thomas Paine was for this at the founding of our country. Martin Luther King fought for it in the 60s. Milton Friedman and 1,000 economists endorsed it. It passed the US House twice in '71. And one state actually has a dividend now where everyone in that state gets between $1,000 and $2,000 a year, no questions asked. And what state is that? And how do they pay for it? And what is the oil of the 21st century? Technology, data, AI, self-driving cars and trucks. A study just came out that said that our data, your data, is now worth more than oil. How many of you saw that study? How many of you got your data check in the mail last month? If you didn't get the data check, where did it go? Amazon, Facebook, Google, Apple, and the trillion-dollar tech companies that are paying nothing or next to nothing back into our country. This is what we must solve for in New Hampshire. We have record high corporate profits in this country right now. What else are at record highs? Suicides, drug overdose, substance abuse, stress, financial insecurity, student loan debt, medical bankruptcy, mental illness, depression. What are at record lows in the United States of America right now? Getting married, having a child, starting a business for a young person. We are following GDP and corporate profits off a cliff, New Hampshire. They're leading us the wrong direction. I know how off base our economic measurements are because of my own family. My wife is at home every day with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. How much is her work valued at in our market economy? Evelyn gets a 0, as does every other stay-at-home parent in our country. How about caregivers taking care of ailing loved ones? Also 0. How about volunteers and activists trying to make things better in our communities? How about coaches and mentors investing in our kids? How about most artists? And increasingly in New Hampshire, this is a problem you should care deeply about. How about local journalists? It is very, very hard to have a democracy function when people don't actually know what's going on in their community. These are the things we claim to value most in our lives: our children, our families, our community, our democracy, and they're getting zeroed out one by one by one. That is what we must reverse on Tuesday. We have to let our fellow Americans know that economic value and human value are not the same things, and that we each have intrinsic value as Americans, as people, and as owners and shareholders of the richest country in the history of the world. New Hampshire, I am not running for president because I dreamt about being president. Those were not the conversations in the Yang household. My parents were not like, "You're gonna be president someday." They were more like, "You're terrible, go clean your room." I'm running for president because, like so many of you here tonight, I'm a parent and a patriot. I have seen the future that lies ahead for our kids, and it is not something I'm willing to accept for them. They deserve better, and we must give them better starting on Tuesday. New Hampshire, Donald Trump is our president today because he had a very simple, powerful, compelling message for our country. He said he was going to make America great again. What did Hillary Clinton say in response? America is already great. You remember that? That response did not work for many Americans because the problems in our communities are all too real. We have to acknowledge their depth and severity and reality, but then we need real solutions that will actually move our country forward. What were Donald Trump's solutions? Build a wall, turn the clock back, bring the old jobs back. New Hampshire, you know we have to do the opposite of these things. We have to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society to rise to the real challenges of the 21st century, like climate change. We have to evolve in the way we see ourselves and our work and our value. I am the ideal candidate for this job, New Hampshire, because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. Thank you all very much. Let's make America think harder and move this country forward on Tuesday. Let's give our kids a future we will actually be proud to leave to them. Thank you, New Hampshire. I love you.
Put the money in our hands. Put the money in our hands. Put the money in our hands. Can we afford it? Yes. Will it cause inflation? No. Is it all